Faro, we are going to continue with your statement. We were at paragraph, I think, 43. We had to start with paragraph 43. I think we had touched a bit just at a high level, but I'd like us to start with it afresh, just to refresh ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I start, I just reflected, Commissioner Baloy, the APS wasn't insourced when it moved over to the city manager's office. It was just changed in management. I don't know if I understood it correctly, that it said it was insourced when it moved to the office of the city manager. It was actually just a movement of management, not insourced.
Okay.
So I just wanted to correct that if it maybe is confusing.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, Commissioners and Chairperson. If I can start, I'll just read. I did touch on this paragraph as well as the next one, but I just would like to read it into record. Thank you, Chairperson. Request for additional funding. I initially became aware of a request for additional funding or an extension of the existing budget relating to the additional sites through emails from Deputy Commissioner Dlamini to Deputy Commissioner Spies on 12 March 2025. This email from Deputy Commissioner Dlamini stated that the deployment of the ad hoc security guards had grown exponentially and indicated that an extra 37 sites were added in January 2025, with a further 6 sites added in February 2025. In total, it came to 43 sites. I was copied in this email, and notably, it attached invoices for ad hoc services for January and February 2025. That must also just be corrected, Commissioners. I see it's 2026, it should be 2025. A copy of this email is attached here too, marked as YF6. Upon receiving this communication, I became aware of the cost and the fact that there was no clarity of the procurement of this ad hoc security services. It was also not apparent that there was a proper procedure in place. I immediately instructed Deputy Commissioner Spies to stop the ad hoc security services, as it was not clear how it came about, and it may lead to audit queries and greatly affect the city of Tshwane as a whole due to this unexplained and unauthorized expenditure. I also instructed Deputy Commissioner Spies to initiate a new control measure specifically related to the deployment of ad hoc guards and to launch an investigation in this regard that must lead to consequence management. This was duly implemented as seen by the email from Deputy Commissioner Spies marked as Annexer YF7. As a result of this action, a new process was created wherein it would be required for any department that seeks any ad hoc security to complete an application form for motivation and commitment that their budget and their funding may be used after APSS conducted a security risk assessment that warrants the deployment of additional guards. It is a prerequisite for the form to be signed off by the respective requesting departments, group heads, and the cluster heads. I later learned from Deputy Commissioner Boles that the request for additional funding emanates from a message received from the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Gareth Manisi, on the 25th of February 2025, as per the attached WhatsApp screenshot marked as Annexer YF8. It would seem that the rising costs largely emanated from the unauthorized and irregular deployment of ad hoc security services by Inspector A.L. He had no authority to issue such directives. Deputy Commissioner Spies has already come before the Commission, and I believe he has provided the relevant context.
Commissioner, can you stop there? I want to get clarity from you, because the email which you refer to as Y7 in your statement is on page 85 of the same bundle. And I could be wrong here, so you will correct me if I'm wrong. I had understood Commissioner Spies' evidence to be that when he sent this email, it was ignored and his subordinate said to him, please put that in a formal letter, not in an email. If it's in an email, I'm not going to implement, and that's what caused issues, and he needed to be disciplined for that. Is that correct? Is that your understanding? Because your statement seems to suggest that the process was implemented and proof of that is this email. Whereas I had understood Commissioner Spies to be saying his email was ignored. And when he inquired why it was ignored, he was told by his subordinate that he has to put that instruction in a formal letter, not in an email. And the evidence leaders will assist me here. That's just my recollection of what the evidence was. If you remember it differently, you can tell us that you remember it differently.
Commissioner Kumalo, if a subordinate is giving him that, I'm expecting that he should have charged the subordinate for insubordination.
Yes. But what I don't expect is for you to come to the commission and say, this was duly implemented as seen in the email.
Commissioner, what I want to say is that Deputy Commissioner Spies, and I've seen this email now, Deputy Commissioner Spies, when I've given him the instruction, he started with it immediately. So I also now see here by YF7, it's the email of Deputy Commissioner Spies to the Deputy Director Malatsi. Are we on 84, Commissioner? YF7, am I correct?
Yes, Y7 is on page 85.
Commissioner, this 85, this evidence here is the, remember he responded in an email to me and then that he's going to implement, I speak under correction, or it was implemented. This one that you are referring to now, Commissioner, in terms of that, I have not received that, that information that you have now given me in writing that that is the case, Commissioner Kumalo.
Okay, if you don't have that information,
Yeah.
then maybe it's fine. But that was my recollection of Commissioner Spies' evidence.
Understood, Commissioner Kumalo.
So it may be something that you need to follow up.
Yes,
you know,
I will do
because
that,
we
Commissioner.
cannot rely on your assurance if that assurance
Yes.
is not factual.
Now, definitely, Commissioner, and then I expect him, if a subordinate is telling him that he should have taken action against that subordinate, Commissioner. Yeah. So I will...
I understood that he did eventually, but the initial reaction was that there was resistance to his email. So maybe we can leave that there for now.
But I will still follow up, Commissioner Kumalo, just for my own sanity. Thank you, Commissioner. I think I'm now by 49.
Sorry, while we are on the point, I think in the next section you deal with Inspector Piri. So the question I'm going to ask is, those letters, when Commissioner Spies showed us the letters, there were at least 2 of them that were not signed by Commissioner Piri. They were signed by one person or 2 other people.
Yes. Yes.
And I would need to know why action is only taken against Piri and not those 2 other people. So if you can just anticipate that and maybe deal with it as well.
Yes,
Sorry,
I can deal with it, Commissioner
Okay.
Commissioner, as I said, we've launched the investigation. We are still busy with investigation. It's just now over this Easter period also. I've also wrote to the Commission requesting certain information as well to the Secretariat of the Commission, and I will follow up in that regard. But Commissioner, I can really assure you, it will not just be one person. Any person that's implicated, even if it takes for us a day or 2 or a week or 2 to come to that, we will obviously make sure that if a person was involved in matters that they shouldn't have, as I said, consequence management will be implemented. I can promise you that.
Because even people who process the payments, remember there's the request to the security company for ad hoc services, and it comes from Inspector Piri. Now, when invoices come in and people process those payments, do they not care that Piri was not authorized to issue those instructions? Why do they authorize payments running into millions, tens if not hundreds of millions, when the person who issued the ad hoc instructions was not authorized to do so?
Commissioner Kumalo, you're 100%. We know who processed it. We have the names of the people that, from the whole food chain, I can guarantee you, we are busy with that investigation. We know exactly, I've requested through internal affairs, the authorization, I requested who stamped it, I requested based on what, so yes, I can guarantee you, Commissioner Kumalo, we are busy, and then it is not the first or the second or the third person that we are dealing with. I promise you, we are really looking at it thoroughly, and as we look into it, Commissioner Kumalo, we also look into the process. It's no use we are dealing with the people that has done this, but the process we need to look at, and we need to correct the process. So we are doing both of that, Commissioner Kumalo. I can promise you that.
Commissioner, can I think just to exploit the discussion about Piri, please turn to page 98 of the file you have in front of you, file 1.
98?
Correct. This is, as you suggest, part of the corrective measures. Correct?
Give me a minute, I'm pulling them out. That's correct.
Correct. Oh, let me wait for commissioners.
I have a different 98.
Apologies.
Okay, I'll give you my file when we finish and see if what needs to be corrected. My 98 is a document that starts at page 96, and it's a memorandum, tenders to be advertised. Do you have the same, Commissioner?
No, Commissioner.
You have a different document?
Commissioner Baloy, I have the,
Okay,
actually
I'll
the
share with the
pre-suspension
chair in the
letter.
meantime.
Apologies, Commissioner Kumala. We'll resolve this issue. Thank you. You will see that.
I'm still Baloy.
Apologies.
Until further notice.
Apologies, commissioners. At page 98 is a letter signed by yourself, notice of intention to suspend Piri, correct?
That's correct.
And at the bottom there is your signature, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And we know that the emails about stopping ad hoc services or security services happened, or the concern rather, on 12 March 2025, correct?
That's correct.
Will you explain why it takes a year to discipline Piri?
Commissioners, allow me just to just explain. Remember, I've requested Commissioner Spies to investigate. Then, I think by June 2025, he sent it to the internal cities guard department, which then also responded that there is, in terms of what they've read, that he can be disciplined. Then we sent it to the internal affairs department of TMPD to do a thorough investigation in that regard. In terms of the TMPD, they then couldn't get certain information because we do not have access to certain information. It was then sent to Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, I think 30th of July. And then Deputy Commissioner Dlamini obviously did not send that documents further, bearing in mind he's responsible for internal affairs. In the meantime, Deputy Commissioner Spies was meeting with the Hawks, as well as he briefed me other departments. He met with them July, August, September, and October. They were then busy with the process, obviously, to make sure that they get more evidence. For that moment, we did not want to disturb the process. Then Deputy Commissioner Spies followed up in terms of what happened to the document. And then obviously we've learned that Brigadier Danny Bernard did forward it to the head of that department, which is Deputy Commissioner Dlamini. And then we found out then, the documents was there by him. And then obviously upon finding that out, we put measures in place and then obviously the systems. And we made sure then that in terms of other information that also came to our attention, that we had then enough also to what I pre-suspension and then suspension in that regard. The investigation, we haven't received the feedback obviously from the Hawks back and the other department that was busy with a parallel investigation. However, the process has been started and we will now run with the process.
Advocacy Kakani, just to be fair to Commissioner Faro, if you can go to file 8, this is what I was referring to. Commissioner Spies' statement starts on page 37 of that file.
Apologies, Commissioner, which page?
49.
49.
So his statement starts on 37.
Okay.
But if you go to page 12 of it, maybe on page 48. Are you there?
I am there.
You see the email he refers to is paragraph 41. That's the same email you were referring to. And then it continues. And then if you look at page 49 on paragraph 46, he says, during the following months, it was mentioned at monthly budget meetings that there were still payments of ad hoc guards as more invoices were submitted by one specific service provider, Gubis 85. I then issued a written instruction on 24 June 2025 to stop the deployment of ad hoc services and made clear that no more will be allowed beyond 1 July 2025. Do you see that? So it was not implemented in March. It was only implemented in July because he had been told that he can't do it by way of an email. There must be a written letter issued. So that's how the process unfolded.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I will follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to press on this point a bit. And because these are the problems that we see, what we have is a serious issue of someone who essentially causes about 13 million loss. But it takes a year to actually take action against them. What it would mean is that every time that he's at the office, apart from what you are able to find out, he's a risk, or he exposes the municipality or the TMPD. Would you accept that? And I'm I'm not convinced of that there were these investigations for over a year, unless you can accept that it was truly an oversight of some sort on your part or Commissioner Spees' part. I cannot understand why it would take 12 months literally to discipline him for something so obvious.
I cannot accept that. I just explained that it is not that easy. It's a complex investigation. In terms of you need to look at the invoices, you need to make sure that you have all the evidence as well. The same with any investigation. If you're going to take the person, are you going to suspend the person and keep the person 12 months at home? The person is not in direct doing this or is not doing this anymore. So he doesn't have control over doing that. So I had to also make sure if we want to, that is departments that is investigating and watching, I had to make sure that we do that as well. So at the moment, as I said, that we feel that we have now, over and above even what we have more than to actually go ahead with the case as well. And as I said, we are still waiting on other departments, but we can't wait on them, rightfully so. If it's any criminal matter, we cannot wait for the criminal investigation to conclude in order for us not to do departmental. In terms of the one that I will agree with is the one in terms of that it was emailed already on the 30th of July to the head of the department. And there should have been more engagement from the head, although Deputy Commissioner Spies has done his part by following up on a monthly basis. He even engaged with the external investigators on a monthly basis. So I cannot accept that Deputy Commissioner Spies failed in that regard. However, I'm also looking at the time frame. I'm looking at the 30th of July that it was mailed to the head of that unit, and I'm also looking at the bigger picture. So the investigations, the more, it's the same like it's here, the more you touch one thing, another thing comes up. So the investigation is vast. And as I said, we've also, rightfully so, as the chairperson has said, we're also looking at other people in the food chain that was involved in this. It's not only the one person. So the more we investigate and we ask questions, the more names are popping up. So I'm requesting that we do the investigation. It is at a very sensitive point at this moment. And I'm even prepared to give the outcome and how far we came once we have now do the investigation into all the others as well, and also the consequence management.
I think, Commissioner, it seems that from the statement of Deputy Commissioner Spies, it does seem that there may have been speedy movement, because if you look at paragraph 47, Commissioner Khumalo referred you to 46. At 47,
yes.
This is where Commissioner Spies says he received an email from Gubis.
Yes.
And then that was on the 26th of June, 25. And then if you read, and then in 48, he becomes aware that Piri is the one that issued those letters. And then you read on the steps that he took, and then you get to 52, paragraph 52.
Yes, I'm there.
And then it says, on 30 July,
Oh, that is the one.
internal audit completed the report. This is about a month later. And request to Deputy Dlamini, Umashi Dlamini.
Yes.
And it seems Deputy Commissioner Dlamini is the one that sat with the report from the 30th of July, the way I read this paragraph, until the 10th of March, 2026.
Yes.
Is that your understanding as well of what happened?
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. That is the 30th of July that I referred to, that
Yes.
Brigadier Manar has forwarded to the head, which is you are 100% Deputy Chief Dlamini.
Yes.
I'm also looking at that in that regard.
Yeah.
That is what I said, that allow me to investigate. And the reason why, is it because with the person that we are supposed to discipline, that other things will come out. So allow me, because we are really advanced at the states in this regard. I'm talking about the internal investigation, not the one with the external ones. So I'm asking, allow me just to complete. I am prepared to give the feedback in this regard. That is also one of the things I'm looking in, Commissioner Below. You are 100%.
Yes. Well, I was going to suggest that perhaps it is for Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, when he comes to testify, to explain to Mr. Skakane why from the 30th of July 2025 he sat with this report until the 10th of March 2026.
And immediately when I received it, on the very same day, I actioned it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Commissioner
Skakane.
Below.
Thank you, Commissioner Valoi. Please proceed.
It would seem that the rising cost largely emanated from unauthorized. I think I've read that 48. Am I correct, Commissioners?
Please read it again.
Do you want me to read it again?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. It will seem that the rising costs largely emanated from unauthorized and irregular deployment of ad hoc security services by Inspector A.L. He had no authority to issue such directives. Deputy Commissioner Spies has already come before the Commission, and I believe he has provided the relevant context. It is clear that the large beneficiary of the irregular deployment is an entity called Gubis 85 Security Solutions, Pty Ltd, to the tune of about or almost 14 million rand.